Good evening. I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. Mount Rainier residents are making sure their voices are heard as they cast their ballots during the city's special election today. Keisha Butts is at the Mount Rainier Nature Center with the story.
That's right. The city of Mount Rainier is hosting a special election to fill its Ward 2 council member seat. Everyone from the candidates to voters to even the former mayor are here at the Mount Rainier Nature Center to cast their ballots.
We have two really qualified candidates who have both produced a lot of great results for the community, and I think Ward 2 would be lucky to have either of them, so I'm thankful that both of them stepped up to serve.
Ayelet Hines voted in Mount Rainier's special election taking place today. Valerie Woodall and Tony George are on the ballot for the Ward 2 council member seat. It became vacant when former council member Scott Cecil resigned. Both candidates say they want to serve the city.
48% of our population is African American. The next largest population is Hispanic. And currently there is no African American on the city council. And I think that everybody in the city deserves representation. They have to have a seat at a table, have to have a voice in what happens in this community and shaping that community. So I want to be that voice.
Currently, Woodall works in community development, and for the past few years, she's worked with the Mount Rainier Elementary School Grounds Committee. She says her background can help her on the council.
I think taking that experience and energy to City Council is very important. Our city desperately needs a strategic vision for the city.
Woodall also wants to improve volunteer opportunities and homeowner and rental assistance. Meantime, Mayor Selena Benitez wants to remind residents to come out and vote, even if they think their voice doesn't matter.
To me, it's one of the most important positions because this is where you're able to reach and build community locally.
You got to be involved locally on issues you care about because policymakers up and down the political food chain take cues from what happens locally, what voters care enough to turn out for or don't care enough to turn out for.
Now, the special elections in Mount Rainier, they are only taking place for Ward 2 residents. Also, the special elections are taking place here at the Mount Rainier Nature Center until 8 p.m. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and come out and vote. This is Keisha Butts with CTV News in Mount Rainier. Back to you.
As the Prince George's County Council looks to fill the District's 6th seat vacated by Derek Davis, lawmakers have an informational session scheduled for tomorrow for those 9 individuals who have expressed an interest in filling the seat. Each will be given 5 minutes to make their case before the County Council. The process, you may recall, has been shrouded in controversy. Some allege Davis stepped down early to allow Council to appoint his hand-picked successor. Davis denies that allegation. At-large member Mel Franklin says they are following the county's charter.
So we just have to do our jobs. Our jobs are to select a person from District 6 who's qualified to fulfill the rest of Councilmember Davis's term. That's all we're doing. And what we shouldn't do, in my opinion, this is just my view, is prematurely decide what we're going to do before the process has run its course. I don't think that's fair to the process, to the people who are applying, and I don't believe that's what the charter intended us to do.
The informational session is set for tomorrow at 11:30. The council has until May 15th to make an appointment. Well, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. The Maryland Department of Health has confirmed 1,005 new cases after steadily rising during the month of April. The positivity rate in Prince George's County has eased to 5.33%. Now, 3 Marylanders have died of COVID in the last 24 hours. 185 people remain in the hospital. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll be back in just a moment.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. So you can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and grandpa and grandma need them.
Thank you, first responders.
We look out for the helpers because they look out for us.
At the end of the day, this is what I signed up for as a first responder, and this is what I love to do. And I'm going to continue going to work day in and day out and providing help to those that need it.
Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Thank you,
be safe, look after yourself, and look after one another. Thanks.
Welcome back. The University of Maryland is in relatively stable condition despite the pandemic. That, according to a new financial analysis by the American Association of University Professors. But the report says that financial stability isn't reaching many faculty and staff. The group says while the number of administrators continues to climb, the opposite is happening for tenured faculty and other employees.
What we find is that the number of students at the university has increased, but the number of faculty who are teaching those students has decreased. The administration of the University of Maryland is replacing full-time tenured and tenure-track faculty who have stable jobs and fairly decent wages with underpaid and overworked contingent faculty members and graduate students.
In this region, there's a high cost of living, and that really has implications because when there isn't sufficient staffing and there isn't living wages on top of that, right, people are forced to make really unpalatable decisions.
The report also says the decision for UMD athletics to become part of the Big Ten was quite costly. The university is paying a large subsidy to keep many sports afloat, much of which is funded through student fees. The analysis says at the same time, the salaries of coaches and athletic staff have gone up 59% over a 5-year period. You can request the full report by emailing the address at the bottom of your screen. Well, 2 men, both in their 20s, are in custody tonight for unrelated homicides that occurred in February. This is one of the suspects, 21-year-old Malik Hardin of Suitland. Investigators say he shot and killed 58-year-old Michael Hawkins of the District of Columbia on February 27th, just after 12 noon. Hawkins was pronounced dead at the scene. This is the other suspect, 22-year-old David Hunter of Landover. Investigators say Hunter shot and killed 26-year-old Ernesto Gomez, also of Landover, on February 18th at 8 p.m. Police were called to the 2500 block of Kenttown Place on the report of a shooting. The victim was found on the ground outside and pronounced dead at the scene. Both suspects face murder charges. Well, the city of Mount Rainier wants to hear your thoughts about proposed traffic changes. Residents can voice their opinions tomorrow, April 26, following a budget session that begins at 7 p.m. Traffic calming devices are being considered for 4 areas: the 4000 block of 36th Street, 31st and Taylor, the 3400 block of Newton Street, and the 4000 block of 30th Street. Also open to discussion are plans for zoned residential parking in the 4000 block of 36th Street, as well as the 32nd and 33rd blocks of Perry Street. To join the Zoom meeting and view the full agenda, you can log on to mountrainiermd.org. A bill that could reinstate former riverkeeper Fred Tutman and his colleague to the Patuxent River Commission continues to await action from Governor Hogan. Tutman and Barbara Soldner-Webb were the longest-serving members of the commission. They were fired from their unpaid positions after speaking out about a proposed development upstream. Earlier this month, the General Assembly unanimously passed legislation that would make the Patuxent Riverkeeper a permanent voting member of the commission. The governor has about 1 month to either sign that measure, veto it, or let it take effect without his signature. And coming up later on the news, the NFL draft is days away and some Maryland Terps are hoping to hear their names called. We'll have the story after the break.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. His real name is Darion, and we call him Day-Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's affection, attention, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. Just do it from the right place. As long as it's coming from love, then, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job. I'll say my kid's pretty dope.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, Prince George's police have identified the victims of a fatal car crash in Seat Pleasant. The crash occurred late Friday and involved two cars in the 6200 block of Central Avenue. Police say Giselle Hernandez was attempting to make a left turn onto a service road from westbound Central Avenue. That's when her car was hit by an SUV heading eastbound. Hernandez and Joy Brown, a passenger in the car, both died. The driver of the SUV sustained minor injuries. Friends and loved ones gathered to say their final farewell to a beloved pro football player who recently died. A celebration of life memorial service was held yesterday to honor Dwayne Haskins Jr. The quarterback played briefly for the Washington Commanders before signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The service was held at the Bullis School in Potomac, which is where he graduated from back in 2016.
We would share jokes, knowledge, music, secrets, but most importantly, we would share our dreams and our aspirations. We both used to pray that we would sacrifice everything, including our own careers, for each other to be successful.
Haskins was struck and killed on a Florida highway earlier this month. Well, the NFL draft is just days away, and some Maryland Terps are hoping to hear their names called. They include running back Tayon Fleet Davis. He was one of 7 Terps who had a chance to work out in front of the NFL scouts. That was at last month's Pro Day at Maryland's practice facility. Fleet Davis was Maryland's top rusher as a redshirt senior last season with 721 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns, including a career-best 152 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win against Rutgers that helped the Terps become bowl eligible for the first time in 5 years. The Oxon Hill native and Potomac High School graduate hopes his versatility and his passion for the game can show that he's prepared for the next level.
Very loyal towards my coaches, my teammates. You know, I'm very willing to do anything they ask, whether it's special teams, kicking, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm willing to do anything. You're going to get a hard worker and someone who gives every play their all.
Tayon is one of those guys that I call a triple threat, a little more of a Swiss Army knife in that he's a guy that catches the ball really well out of the backfield, is productive as a runner, does a great job in pass protection.
Pass complete to Tayon Fleet Davis.
What he was able to do on the field last year, being kind of our number 1 runner, showed that he's able to do the things to be productive as a running back.
You want to come out here with the mindset of that you are the best version of you and you will come out here and dominate, because anything less than that, you're setting yourself up short. The mental aspect part of this whole process is very important. I would say you have to have the right mindset to dominate.
He's put enough on tape to be afforded an opportunity, and you know, at the next level, you know, if you have an opportunity to get in camp, once you get an opportunity to get in camp, then, you know, from there you're able to show maybe some things that you didn't get a chance to show, you know, in college. So I'm confident that he's done enough to, you know, get a shot.
This is a dream come true, you know, working my whole life to get to this one point. I don't see myself stopping no time soon. You know, I have a lot of football left in me. I'm very durable. My body's still fresh, and, you know, I just can't wait.
If Fleet Davis is selected in this year's NFL draft, it would be a 3rd year in a row for a Terps running back. Jake Funk was a 7th-round draft pick last year by the Los Angeles Rams, and Anthony McFarland, also a Prince George's native, was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2019. Well, let's check on your weather forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy with lows around 58 degrees. Tomorrow, a chance of showers, highs near 75. Wednesday, sunny with highs near 61 degrees. And Thursday, sunshine with highs again in the 60s. And that is your CTV News Update. I'm Patricia Valone. Have a great evening.